everybody, and welcome to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week, we have Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What's up, Pasta Pals?
Oh, nothing much, Spaghetti Jim.
It's your boy, Spaghetti Jim.
Yeah, boy.
Your boy with the meatballs.
Oh.
Yay, yay.
Hey, put some Parmesan on me.
On
These are
me?
just all your weekly catchphrases that you always say.
These
Yeah,
are things that
you
you've
guys
said
know.
for 113 episodes. You've definitely done that, for sure. Joe, this is a First and Last podcast. It's a podcast about TV, but how does it work for the people that don't know?
We take a TV show and watch only the first and only the last episode.
Goddamn
Nothing
right
in
we
between. Just pilots and finales.
do. Mm-hmm.
Saints and sailors.
First and Lasts.
Is that a dashboard?
Angels and airwaves.
Angels and Demons.
Ish.
Dan Brown.
Dan and Brown.
We're a Dan Brown podcast. Dan Brown book podcast.
But yeah, so sometimes it's a show you've seen a lot, but you've never actually seen the beginning or end. And so you get to like relive that with us.
Mhm.
Or not even relive if you've never seen those, but you get to live through us.
Vicariously.
Live vicariously through us. And
And
act.
in us.
And act like you've seen the beginning and end.
Well, speaking of shows that maybe you've seen the first and the last, or maybe just one of those, that's the show we're going to do for me this week.
Yeah.
We're going to do Scrubs.
Scrubs.
And I've seen the first episode, and I have a very fond place in my heart for Scrubs.
Yeah. I've seen Scrubs a lot too. I was pretty sure that we had done Scrubs on this show already.
You like thought we've already done Scrubs.
But I think we've done Cougar Town.
Incorrect.
And Cougar Town was also run by Bill Lawrence, who's the creator of Scrubs.
Wait.
Really?
You can
Cougar Town?
You
Cougar
confuse.
Town.
Yeah, me and
Those
Jimmy are
are
both offended
very
right now.
opposite shows.
I know, but same creator. And so that's why I thought we did Scrubs, but we did Cougar Town.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Same creator does not make those shows like compatible in my mind that I would screw them up.
So Scrubs is the story of JD, a doctor.
Jonathan Dorian.
He starts out as an intern probably.
What is it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is it intern or resident? Is that
Resident,
different?
yeah.
Yeah.
First,
Everything I know about-
I
first
think they're all
year.
interns when they start the show.
Everything I know about doctors is from Scrubs, so
Yeah.
I can't speak.
So he's a doctor or a near doctor, and it's about him being a near doctor.
Becoming a doctor. It's his path. It's from when he gets into the hospital as an intern.
I think
Yeah.
he's a doctor, but you're in your like first year, so you have a lot of shadowing.
Yeah, I think he's an intern.
Incorrect.
No?
I think there's a lot of flashbacks.
I think he's a full-on resident in the beginning.
He's
I
not a
think so.
resident because they talk about becoming a resident at some point. I really feel.
Yeah, they
I feel
do,
like
but
you
I
can
think
be-
they do a lot of flashbacks to like
I think you can.
when they're in class and stuff.
I think you can become. I think he's like a doctor. Like he passed all of his tests.
Yeah, I think an intern is still a doctor.
I think he's still a doctor. I think he's just like kind of like an intern at a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I mean, I know, Jimmy, we get it. Your wife's a doctor. You know how it works. But how does TV doctors work?
Actually, I've heard from medical professionals that, and actually it was like a heart surgeon, that they thought Scrubs was actually the most accurate of medical, like more accurate than medical dramas because they are always taking stuff way over the top and
Yeah.
using the one extreme case that's not even, and even like in the use of terms and how
Yeah.
things actually like work around the hospital.
It seemed like their goal was not to sensationalize like medicine, but just use medicine and like treat it realistically and use that as like a little platter to serve your like human drama on.
Yeah, it's the driver for the character drama that they're having.
Right.
It's at least in like what I think.
So in that way they
Scrubs.
try to keep it realistic because this is what real people deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was kind of just more of a platter just to insert whatever new underground band that he had found.
That Zach Braff is trying to push.
Yeah, because that says great soundtrack all the
Yeah.
time. I'm
What's
just
his
kidding,
name?
but
The woman who plays Dr. Cox's wife, I think she had a lot to do with like the music.
Oh, from the Drew
curating
Carey
music.
show.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know her actual name.
I don't know her name.
uh,
Do you guys have any
I'll get on it.
favorite Scrubs episodes, or ones that you remember?
Oh, so many.
I do the butterfly effect one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the only part I remember. So it's like like a single decision that you make could change like whatever. Like you understand how a butterfly effect works.
Yeah.
And one of the scenes,
I'm familiar with Ashton Kutcher's work.
Todd, the surgeon, is one of my favorite characters in the show.
The Todd.
And he decides at some point he's gonna go lift in the gym before, like at the hospital, and he's like, should I poop before or shouldn't I? No, I don't have to. And then like he's lifting the bench press, and he goes, whoa, and he poops because like at that time, like the butterfly, like I think it like lands on the bench press like bar. And then like later on, I think maybe it changed because they do like what would happen this way and what would happen the other way. So it's one of the episodes that I just remember.
Yeah.
It,
Good show.
yeah.
Lots of poop.
Yeah. It's a good poop joke. It's a good poop joke.
I feel like one that I remember and I don't really know why, but I feel like I've seen it a lot, is it's like not a parody, but like it follows the structure of The Wizard of Oz. And
Oh, yeah.
like I don't remember why I've seen that one a lot, but like there's a part where like they follow this yellow line through the hospital, and they're like following the yellow brick road, and like one of them represents the Scarecrow, and another one the Tin Man, another one the Cowardly Lion.
There is another one where like well, there's two that come to mind now. The one where JD sleeps with Dr. Cox's ex-wife Jordan for the first time, like, and he doesn't know that it's Jordan, like who
Dr.
she
Cox's
is.
ex-wife,
Yeah, he doesn't know who she is. That's just like a good episode.
Yeah.
Krista Miller is her name.
That's her name, yeah.
Jordan.
Okay. Jordan. Yeah, well, that's her character name, Jordan. And then another one where like Jimmy, I think you remember this one because you kind of like maybe even alluded to it just now, but like that guy who's like playing guitar, like acoustic guitar, na 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 or whatever.
Oh,
What's that song he's singing?
Overkill is the song.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
He was in an 80s band. Oh, wow.
Genesis.
It's like an Australian band or something,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I Can't Get to Sleep is the song.
Don't think too much
wow.
of it.
I can't.
But I remember that. I remember that
remember
episode,
that,
and I partly remember going like, why is this dude like singing? But then also whatever. But so I mean, for people listening,
Men at Work was the name,
oh,
That's it.
Okay,
and that's the band's name too. But that singer did a solo career
right.
during Scrubs, and they did a solo version of it, and it's awesome.
I mean, so obviously for people listening, like all of us have seen like at least a lot of Scrubs. I have not seen all of it.
Colin Hay.
That's it. Yeah.
I have not seen every single Scrubs episode, especially the ending seasons.
Unfortunate.
For reasons we get into like later, you know.
I've seen a lot of Scrubs, and then I've for sure seen that last season. I remember watching that in college, and they definitely did I don't think it spoils anything, but they definitely did a thing throughout that last season where they're like trying to pitch like the new interns to like, hey, like maybe we can continue Scrubs with these idiots.
Oh, maybe we could do like a Scrubs 2 or
Yeah.
something like that. But obviously, I
The
assume
Mean Girls too.
it didn't.
I don't
pan
think
out.
so. Yeah.
Nah. I
And
don't think there's any spin-offs. I do have a favorite though. I mean, I think this show has the classic "Will They, Won't They" between Elliot and
Jonathan Dorian
and JD, Sarah Chalk.
She was in
of
Roseanne. Yeah.
fame. She's the second iteration of that character, right? There's like a blonde girl before her on
Yes.
Roseanne.
Yes.
Yeah, and Sarah Chalk
Yeah, she's
became that girl.
Yeah.
But so my favorite episode, I think, or one of my favorites is when they do like the first like "Will They, Won't They," and there's like they almost kiss, and then they're telling him that he's got a window that he has to kiss her within the next like 24
the friend
hours,
zone.
otherwise
Friend
it's not
zone
gonna happen.
episode. Yeah,
the
yeah,
friend
yeah.
zone episode, and then he's like in there in the friend zone with all like her other ex like people who are friend zoned.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious.
They do a really good job, at least it's just in memory. Because right now, I feel like we're just remembering like good thoughts about the show. So it's going to be fun to actually watch this first episode. And then especially for me, and probably for you, because Jimmy, have you ever seen the last episode?
I for sure I blasted through that last season.
Oh, you did see it.
But I couldn't tell you how it ended, but I watched it and it was awful. I blasted through I think all the last seasons. So like I watched the first 3 seasons of the show pretty religiously.
Well, we in college
you know.
we had Scrubs night with some of our friends. And so we would watch Scrubs.
Back when you put the DVD in.
Yeah, we had DVDs. Also, we totally had Scrubs nights because our friend who hosted it totally like wanted to bang some other girl and who we invited. Or was that Alias nights? You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. I was not present for Alias nights, so I think Scrub nights makes more sense to me.
Okay, maybe that was a different girl, aka
right.
his current wife.
Yeah, right.
TV is the source to a woman's heart, apparently.
Catalyst, yeah.
But like, yeah, I never watched any of the. So Scrubs had a kind of tumultuous ending, at least because what station was it on right away? Do we remember?
I think it was NBC and then ABC.
And then ABC. That sounds.
Yeah,
that feels
I think
right.
you're exactly right. So NBC from 2001 to 2008, and then ABC from 09 to 10. It went 9 seasons, 182 episodes.
Wow, so good.
A lot of Scrubs in.
What season? Do you guys know offhand what season the musical is?
No, I do remember there was a musical episode though.
Because that was like the season after I was like watching it all the time, like watching the same seasons.
Yeah.
Like 1 through 3 or 4 over and over. And everything after that I've seen I think once, including the last season.
It's guy love between two guys.
Yeah. Sure is.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that episode.
No, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
My Musical is season 6. So I've seen I'm familiar with more of this than I realized.
I mean, so I think we kind of all right now we have to go in this with a like surgical, like specific like kind of outlook of we're not trying to just love on it. We need to go into this first episode and go, is this objectively good?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe subjectively good, because how do you objectively say that a TV show pilot is good?
We'll score it. We'll put it in the formula.
But we'll put it in we'll put it in that.
We'll run it through the algorithm.
We'll run the
machine.
macro, and we'll see if it comes out a 10 or a 1.
I'm a little bit concerned that I might like start watching Scrubs after this.
Yeah, I mean, it might
already.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, full disclosure. I'm just I'm concerned that I'm just gonna keep watching Scrubs.
It's run through my mind since we've been sitting here. Do I do it? Do I do it again? Am I crazy?
I don't know. Maybe the finale will be bad.
I just right now went,
be
oh
good,
dear
right?
Lord, have we done Scrubs already? Like I just went.
Is that what episode is this?
No,
we should do another show again.
Here's the deal. Right now,
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
here's the deal. The rule right now for the night
Yeah.
is if we've done Scrubs,
We just
in
keep
the
going.
we don't look at our previous episodes.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do it.
Yeah.
And if we did it, that's a fun thing, right?
Yeah. Let's do Wings again and just see if people notice.
Oh man, I wasn't there for Wings.
Let's do it at the beginning of
Let's do Wings when I'm
season 6.
here.
Just Wings again.
Wings.
All right. Well, hey, let's get into the first episode of Scrubs.
Let's eat wings.
And we'll see, because I think right now, at least, all of us are like flying high, on like Scrubs is good. We love
I'm
Scrubs.
on a lot of drugs right now.
And Jimmy's high as shit
Okay.
on drugs,
And Scrubs.
on scrub drugs.
Scrugs.
Jimmy is hooked on the opioid crisis right now.
Whoa.
Solely responsible
Yeah,
for the
Jimmy's the
crisis.
reason
Got
the
really
opioids are
dark.
everywhere. So okay, we're gonna do that. We'll see after that. We'll be back in 10 fucking seconds
The opioid king of Minnesota.
Whoa.
with the OP
Allegedly.
King, the OP King Spaghetti Jim.
Allegedly.
What if in this pilot they're just like willy-nilly prescribing people opioids because it's like 2001 and they're just like, yeah, who cares? Just take it. It'll be good for you.
Just tossing people bottles?
I'm willing to bet there's not a single opioid in this episode. But there is an episode. JD's girlfriend like steals opioids
No, they
at
address
one
it.
point. She
They address it.
They address it. All right, we'll see you after the first episode of Scrubs. Hello, we are back. We're done with the first episode of Scrubs. Yo, Joe?
Yeah.
So far away from your mic. Yeah, we did it. We watched the first episode of Scrubs, and I'll be honest, I liked it a lot. I still liked it a lot.
Pretty good.
This is a pretty solid, pilot of TV. Kind of reminded me a lot of St. Elsewhere.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, in that it's
a medical show.
And that it takes place in a hospital?
wasn't the first episode of St. Elsewhere about the new doctor's first run on call?
Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Sounds correct to me.
so it's the same.
It's the exact same show. You got a write-up, Jim?
Okay, well this is what I have. Medical intern John J.D. Dorian embarks on a career at a hospital abundant with unpredictable staffers and patients.
I mean, in a way, that's not a terrible. I kind of like that write-up just because it doesn't run you down
Doesn't give
everything.
anything away.
I don't think a step-by-step write-up in this episode would do it justice.
Oh, for sure not. So
Um,
he's running into different other interns that we're introduced to, and his best friend who's a surgical intern.
yeah, I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wrote down 8 people that I think are like really important characters in this show. So JD is a new medical intern at the hospital. And he meets another medical intern named Elliot, played by the Roseanne girl.
Also, Sarah Chalk is her name.
Yeah.
And give her some respect. God damn. But she's also known for the early Lonely Island skits.
Wait, what?
If you've seen
No.
early Lonely Island, they had like a SNL type bit, like internet show,
Mm-hmm.
like 20-minute like skits, and they had a thing making fun of the OC called South Beach, I think.
Yeah,
or
the OC
one-
deserved to be made fun of.
one of those.
Okay.
And she was like the girl character, and then there was like a squirrel, an animated squirrel that would come on and say, "Ooba stink."
Oh, I remember. I remember him. I remember like what's his name saying Hoobastank.
Yeah. And it was I think it was like Yorma and Sarah Chalk. And then because they had an episode that was in it was supposed to be in 3D.
I feel like I hear your phone, but I'm not sure.
Classic.
But I'm not sure if it's your phone or not. It might be Jimmy's voice.
That's how he sounds.
It's just I'm a robot now.
But so then JD meets Elliot, but JD's best friend in medical school, Turk, is a surgical intern at the same hospital. Turk gets smoochy on a nurse named Carla, who is also like kind of taking JD slightly under her wing, and like thinking like she's kind of picked him as the doctor she likes to be nice to. I don't know if that's true. Or
Well,
not.
yeah, it's all the doctors, or it's all the interns' first day, right?
Yeah.
So it's Turk and JD and Elliot's
Elliot.
first day.
She's just helping him out.
And she's helping him out. Then there's Dr. Cox, who is a resident there, who like kind of at the beginning seems like the tough, bad guy kind of doctor.
gonna
Like
give
at the
him a hard
beginning of the
time.
episode, it's kind of like he's going to give me the hard time and he doesn't care about us because he's kind of like jaded.
Yeah.
And then there's Dr. Kelso, who's the chief of medicine, who is like, I'm your pal and I'm your buddy. And
Yeah, I'm
that's
looking
how-
out for you.
But those two kind of flip on their end near the end, where it obviously kind of points out that maybe Cox is the good guy in that manner, and Kelso is not what he appears to be. And then there's also
Classic.
Todd, the other surgical intern, who's a total dude bro.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude, bro, surgeon.
Yep. And then
I was very surprised to see that he was in the pilot. I didn't remember that.
and then one of the best characters of the whole show is the janitor,
Yeah.
who's the guy from The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And the janitor is like JD's nemesis.
Neil Flynn.
Yeah, he's like
He's also the dad in Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
is he? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he is kind of like JD's nemesis. Like at the very beginning, he's like fixing a door, and
Mhm.
JD's like, maybe there's a penny in there, and he's like, why would there be a penny? How would you know that?
Yeah.
If I find a penny in there.
Did you put up?
And then at the very, very end of the episode, JD's like walking out of the hospital after like his whole night, and the janitor's holding a penny,
Mhm.
like looking at him. And it's funny because like just knowing the janitor or whatever, and just his character throughout the show,
Mhm.
it's like he didn't find that penny. He just decided like I'm gonna fuck with this guy forever now.
Show him a penny. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty great.
I think the only other reoccurring character in it was Nurse Roberts.
Did she even get named though in this episode? That's why I kind of didn't even like talk
No
about
one said her name, but I was surprised, and she was just in the last scene where JD has to pronounce his patient dead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the big overarching like kind of thing that happens is JD gets there and he's like too scared to do the things that he's like learned. He's been doing like taking blood and like relieving pressure and doing all this stuff, but on like cadavers, and he's never done it on real live people.
Mm-hmm.
And the nurses are doing his job for him.
Yeah.
And like Carla is helping him out secretly, but Dr. Cox knows, and Dr. Cox is like, if Kelso finds out, you're done.
Yeah.
And at the end, Kelso kind of gives him the opportunity to say like, hey, you need to do this, like you can do it. And that's how he kind of like goes, oh, you're the good guy, you're the mentor maybe that I want.
Yeah, because he allows him to try to do something on his own.
He like forces him in a way to do it, but he like he's just kind of like, you got to do this because this guy's gonna die if you don't.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of things. That's one aspect of it, is that he's afraid to do basic procedures, and like has the nurses do them because they do them all the time and they're really good at them. And then on other just like getting around the hospital things, like his friend Turk is so much more confident than he is.
Yep.
And Turk's just like, I don't know, I'm just figuring it out. When in reality, we learn at the end, like Turk admits to him, like, yeah, I'm really scared. I have no idea what I'm doing.
right. It seems like a lot of people, and it's really cool that a lot of people were like, because we're seeing this all through like kind of JD's eyes, JD's like what he thinks and feels. So he sees Turk as being, he's like very confident.
Yeah.
And then he sees like Elliot as like
Very smart.
very smart,
She knows all the answers.
but then like he tries to go hide somewhere and she's hiding too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're like
obviously.
paging a doctor, and like it turns out they're both hiding in the closet.
Yeah, and so like we kind of like go, oh wait, she isn't like everything that JD maybe thinks he is. And
Yeah.
at the end, Turk tells JD that he's like scared too,
Uh-huh.
and we're like, oh, Turk isn't like super confident. And
Yeah.
JD thinks Dr. Cox is big and evil, but really he's like wants people to succeed and be good doctors.
Mhm.
And he thinks Kelso's a good guy, but really Kelso is like, if they don't have insurance, I don't care.
Yeah, he's cold-hearted. Like, do you guys know what what's referred to as imposter syndrome?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this entire episode is about. Is the imposter syndrome being the idea that you don't have confidence in what you know, and you think that what you know is so small compared to what everyone else knows, and that if people find out how little you know, then
You'll be ousted, essentially.
you'll be outed.
Yeah.
But in reality, like, you actually know more than you think you do, and like, and also everybody else isn't like super experts about everything. They're also just trying to figure it out.
You're really almost on an even keel with most people
Uh-huh.
/ have the wrong idea. for
Yeah,
something.
and in Jay's, I was about to say Jay-Z. In JD's stance, like,
Jay-Z.
He
you
wishes.
know, he's gone through medical school the same as everybody else. He's new there the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're all just on the same level. But
And he's not a bad doctor. He's like a really smart, like caring person.
uh-huh.
Like he's not like a doctor that even got through it barely. I
Yeah.
feel like he's a good doctor.
He's very green, but so is everybody else there.
Yeah.
So
He's limiting himself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I like
You
I like the dichotomy of the episode of just like seeing what we think he thinks, and then kind of revealing what is the true reality, and that's almost like you could watch this whole episode and be like, ha 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 ha, that was funny,
Yeah.
and like almost not even like really get, I think, any of that. I think you'd be entertained by this whole episode and not even get to that deeper meaning of that imposter syndrome and kind of thinking what he's thinking and going through what he's going through.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to do it, but I think when you get to it, it's like,
Yeah, and it's something true and relatable to a lot of people, and also true and relatable especially to like the medical field. So
I think I dare say, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do it.
you're a better doctor than JD.
No, I dare say, but I think that this show is Frasier level, like funny and serious.
Yeah, it
Like
was. And this one was funny and serious.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to pronounce his first patient dead in this episode, and that was
Yeah.
like a big deal for him.
The one patient that he has,
And it was the guy he was reeling around all day, like,
Right.
you know, and that would have been
For a
easy to
lot, yeah.
miss
Yeah,
because the angle was weird when
they
he
really
went in.
set it up really well.
Yeah.
that he was going back to this patient often, and he actually like helped him. He noticed that he was like scared, and so helped him through. And then
If you were too
Yeah.
busy
he
eating your
actually grew a little
burrito
bit of a connection.
while you're watching the show, it's very easy to miss
Yeah.
that was that guy.
Also, in the same show, they have a scene where like Dr. Cox is talking about a patient who's like slumped over in a wheelchair, and JD says something like, "Oh, should we be talking about it right here?" And she's like, "No." Dr. Cox said, "Oh no, don't worry about it. She's dead."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then at the end
No,
of that
she's dead.
scene, the end of that scene, she like wakes up. She's like, "I'm not actually dead."
it's pretty awesome.
Like that's it. That's all in the same episode.
But that's super funny. But that also, like, that scene is like, that's super hilarious. Like that he's like, she's dead, don't worry about it. And then
Yeah.
they keep talking and doing it. But at the same time, you're like, Dr. Cox is such an asshole. You know,
Yeah.
like you get that. You think JD like has so much empathy for everyone around him. She's not dead, so that's super funny.
Yeah.
Cox being mean to JD
Yeah.
is
He's just
funny.
fucking with him.
And then at the end, it all gets still flipped on its head of like, oh no, Cox cares. JD's trying. That lady's still alive.
Lady lives.
And Cox gives him some advice, like you gotta own up to your stuff. And then Cox ultimately ends up giving him the confidence to actually finish a procedure at the end.
I forget what he says, but he says something like, "You can do it."
Yeah, it's like, this is your patient now. He's
Yeah.
like, what? Like you're leaving? Yeah,
He's like his like high school
It's
football
tough
coach
love.
times like a million.
it's tough love.
Yeah, it's cool. I have high praise for this episode. I really do.
Yeah, excellently crafted. What was I gonna say? There was a spinoff, apparently, a 12-episode spinoff in 2009 called Scrubs Interns. That was kind of shot.
I
like,
really was gonna ask, was it called The
documentary
Interns?
style.
Oh, like
On a
The
gal.
Office.
Yeah, I'm imagining it's just exactly trying to pick up on that same like Office and Parks and Rec style. It's this like one new interns like starting at Sacred Heart like documentary. So with Carla and the janitor Neil Flynn and Ted the lawyer and Todd. Oh, apparently in the wait a minute. Apparently, like, everybody's in it at some point. They must have just been, like, dropping people in. And a lot of them are just in it for this first episode.
Getting that money.
Because Kelso and Cox and Turk and Dr. Elliot and JD are all in one episode.
Yeah. That's how you get people hooked, and then they get to episode 3, and they're like, it's been 2 episodes since JD's been in this show. Is he not going to be in this show?
Was there only one episode of this thing?
It says there's 12 aired episodes.
Okay.
Just one. It's just
So,
one. So,
who's to say?
I don't know. What else we got to say? I mean, we've all seen a lot of this
Just
show.
watch it,
So
listeners.
We've all seen a lot of this show, so I don't think there's any point of us like going, "Hey Joe, would you watch more of this show?"
Yeah, I guess in that sense, it did give me like because I've seen the show, it just felt like they had the Scrubs formula from the beginning. Like,
It
Yeah.
really doesn't feel like it changes, like at least the first multiple seasons of the
Uh-huh.
show. Like it feels this way and it stays the feeling.
yeah, it feels pretty fully formed where JD's got a problem. He's figuring something out with his friends, Elliot and JD, or Elliot and Turk.
You know, JD's
Characters are
friends,
super
Elliot
fleshed
and
out
JD.
already. The characters in this episode are exactly how they. A lot of shows like
Find their way.
Yeah, it's still trying to figure
yeah,
it out.
Like
yeah.
Like New Girl, for
like
instance,
the English,
had different
like the
people.
U.S. Office. Like the characters are way more like the English
Uh-huh.
version at the beginning, the UK version, and then as the season goes on and as the seasons go on, they start to become the lovable American version characters that we know because that show doesn't really translate as
Jim
well.
and Pam, will they, won't they?
Okay, that's good everywhere. A good will they won't they is the Elliot and JD will they won't they is.
I don't know, guys. You think they will or they won't?
Let's get there. You got predicts?
Do
You
we
got
have
predicts on
predictions?
Elliot and JD?
It'll be fun. Should you guys do yours for? I have never seen the last episode or the last season.
Sure.
So how do we want to do this? Should I
Yeah.
go first or should you guys go
I
first?
could go first.
Okay.
Mine
we'll
are
go
pretty,
first.
general. I think that calling back to Saint Elsewhere, which ended in a child snow globe. I think that in this episode, there's at least a reference to a snow globe. I don't think it actually ends in a snow globe.
You think there's
I
just a
hope
snow
that
globe
that's
on a
true.
table somewhere?
Yeah.
I hope that
Or maybe there's like a fake out ending where it goes to a snow globe, but then he like wakes up from a dream or
Okay.
something.
Okay.
I think Turk and JD hug. I
Mm.
think they have a moment and they hug.
Hmm.
I think there's there's a reference to the Shins,
Nice.
which was a band that was heavily featured in Zach Braff's movie Garden State.
Yeah. There's at least a couple of.
What was the movie that
bits.
came after Garden State that was like kind of like a spiritual successor to Garden State?
Like another Zach
What?
Braff movie or completely
Yeah.
different people?
Yeah, it was
Really?
it was a crowdfunded.
Oh, I
It had
remember that.
Kate Hudson in it.
Yeah.
And I
Oof.
thought it was really great, and I feel like most people didn't.
I
don't know.
Not
We'll look
aware of
we'll look
that.
it up and we'll get back to it.
All right. And I think the lawyer's name was Ted, right?
Yeah.
I
I
remember.
forgot about Ted already.
I remember that he had like
the
an a
best.
cappella group or something, and I think that
Mhm.
Ted sings in this last episode.
Mm.
So, singing Ted.
I also have that Ted sings in this episode.
Weird.
Because he for sure has a quartet that is like talked about a lot, and they sing a lot throughout the series.
Mm-hmm.
I am hoping that he made the transition over to the other network. I assume they all did. I don't know. I don't remember.
Mostly, yeah.
I have Turk Scott's kids. I assume it's Turk and Carla's Scott's kids, but I just say Turk Scott's kids.
Question.
then- yeah.
I gotta ask you a question. What do you think their kid's name is? If they have a kid.
Ray J.
Okay.
I bet they name one of the kids after JD at least.
Okay.
Ooh.
Jadorian.
Yeah, they just call him Jadorian.
Jado-
DJ.
Maybe Jadora. It's a girl. All right, keep going.
Kardashian.
You'll find it.
Number whatever I'm on 3. I think JD is married. I don't want to say it's Elliot because I feel like that will they won't they may not have played
They
out.
will
Ends
not.
in a friendship.
Yeah,
I also think that. I don't think I didn't put that down.
I mean, like I feel like with sitcoms, it can so go either way. I think, like I feel like I feel like it would feel forced, but then again, like you got Friends, and like I feel like everybody ends with, their people.
Right. I was trying to think of things like what could happen, and it was like the JD Elliot is a will they won't they for a long time.
Yeah.
And
But
I
they
don't know
date
what it does.
several other people
in-
throughout.
Yeah, and I don't know what they do in the later seasons, but I'm just like, this show is not ending in a wedding. It's better than that, and I don't think it's
Mhm.
ending with JD and Elliot being married.
I don't know that I agree that it's better than that after the switch.
Okay, well,
You know what I mean?
There's only one season.
It should be better
Exactly. Okay, and then my last one is I think no clips.
than that.
Not a single
Zero
clip.
clips.
No,
Because
clips.
I feel like they probably, don't. There's probably some rights barrier
All right, well,
to their clips because this is a show that would for sure have ended in clips.
no clips. My very first, speaking of that, my very first prediction is JD has a flashback or a daydream. I don't know. Because I would consider it, like with the way they do it, I would consider it technically a daydream for him the whole time.
Like
'Cause that's-
most of what this
that's how
show
they're gonna
is
do it.
Him in his
imagining
own head.
things.
It's very like Family Guy-esque where you have all these little like 20-second offshoots every
Yeah.
couple minutes to some daydream.
Yeah. Well, so I think Shady has a flashback or a daydream of kissing Elliot, but they are not together in quote unquote real life.
Okay.
I don't think they're together, but I think he has like that like remembrance or like oh, kissing Elliot was good.
Yeah.
Like, like
Remember that time?
even if he's like dating somebody else, I think maybe that's just like a part of the other episode. I think Turk and Carla have a kid. And the reason why I also asked you what their name was, I said dash bonus point. The kid's name is Red,
Red?
Redd, which is the main character from Sanford and Sons, because we both love Sanford and Sons.
Yeah, that's from the show where they they do the song together.
Yeah. It's like a really deep cut, and it's
Love
not going to be the
Sanford
name of the
and
kid,
Sons.
but
We both do. That's when they're arguing.
I think Dr. Cox is the chief of medicine now at Sacred
Oh,
Heart.
okay.
I
I was thinking about maybe making JD chief of medicine.
No, I don't think so.
Ooh.
And then I think the janitor plays one last prank on JD in this episode.
Okay.
Oh, you think the janitor followed them to college?
Wait, what?
Nothing. Let's go.
So, yep, those are the things that I think.
Cool.
Should we get into this last episode?
Let's get it.
All right.
Let us
We'll see
do
you.
it.
After the finale of Scrubs. Well, Joe, we're recording now, so get out your woes because we finished season 9, the final season, Joe,
Whoa.
of Scrubs, which is apparently something you didn't know.
No, I can't count. That was me getting up my woes.
So,
Whoa.
so before we get into all of Joe's confusion, Jimmy, do you got a write-up for us?
Sure do. This is episode 13 of season 9 called Our Thanks. In the series finale, the med students of Winston University finally find something to be thankful for when Cole identifies his true calling in surgery, but he annoys Turk by shadowing him. Meanwhile, Drew realizes who the love of his life is after Denise decides to move on. Lucy finds the inspiration to become a doctor after a former patient's son comes to say his final words to his deceased father. Does that make sense?
I mean, I guess. Can I read a little thing that I read here,
Yeah.
which is all things we didn't know. The 9th season takes place over a year. Takes
A year after the finale?
a year after season 8's finale. The old
Yeah.
Sacred Heart Hospital has been torn down and rebuilt. Cox, Dorian, and Turk are now Winston University Medical School professors whose students occasionally rotate through the new Sacred Heart. Between the end of season 8 and the beginning of season 9, the janitor has left the hospital after being told that JD was not returning, and Elliot and JD have married and are expecting their first child. JD's stay at the university is short, and he leaves the series after 6 episodes, reappearing in episode 9, Our Stuff Gets Real, as a secondary character. Kelso's wife passes away, and Ted quits Sacred Heart to travel around the U.S. with his girlfriend. So
Gooch.
with that, the Gooch. With that being said,
Wow, what's her
the
name?
only people in this episode that returned from the original were Dr. Cox and Turk. That was it.
Yeah, in the finale, yeah.
In the finale. And Joe, what did you think we were about to watch, and what did we watch?
Okay, so this is season 9 apparently, and what I thought was the last season of Scrubs was actually season 8, which was the first season on ABC.
It was expected to be the finale.
Yeah, and I had confirmed that because I remember the first scene in the first episode of that season, like JD's like walking down the hallway, and then he like points down to the left where like the little like ABC or NBC logo would be, and he goes, "Oh, that's new." And I just like looked up season 8 episode 1, and yeah, that was that season.
Okay.
It's literally called My Finale, right? Is the
finale of season 8.
the finale of season 8? It's
Yeah.
because all the episodes are My something.
So that's what I've seen.
Yeah, apparently
I guess
they
I didn't
approached
I didn't
Bill
know that
Lawrence for more.
they kept going after that.
It's funny because apparently, so yeah, everything when JD was on the show, everything was like my finale, my whatever, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
all seasons 9's episodes were our something.
Yeah.
So they even adapted that too.
Because you're like in the heads of each of the med school students.
Kate Micucci is that gal's name.
She's
Yeah.
a star of Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had also read, like, if you read further down in that season 9 Wikipedia, it says that like Bill Lawrence considers like season 8 to be the finale of Scrubs, and like he even wanted
That's
to.
what it was.
Yeah, and like when they gave him more money to continue, he wanted to call it like Scrubs Med to like separate it from Scrubs, but they're
Yeah.
like, no, you got to call it Scrubs.
Yeah, we need that branding, bro.
Yeah. While we were
We're gonna
watching,
give you lots of money. So
we were probably halfway through this episode, and Joe was like, "This is not is not right." And we should stop watching this and watch my finale.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is Scrubs.
technically,
It is.
this is the series.
I'll play by the
finale.
rules.
And we're going to play by our rules, and we're going to watch the last episode of the show that it was entitled. But I think we all know, and maybe even by this episode,
Bill Lawrence even knows.
and Bill, the showrunner,
He's ashamed of what he did.
knows, like, this isn't Scrubs.
He
And
took
it
that
was-
blood money.
It was very interestingly bad, I would say.
He did also. So yeah, he did also like executive produce that interns show that went for 12 episodes and probably shouldn't have happened either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was only supposed to go for 12 episodes, a little mini series, like a little dumb.
And that
You miss
wasn't even
Scrubs?
that
Here's the
wasn't even
thing.
these same kids. It's
No,
like,
yeah,
it's
it
like
was-
new kids.
Well, the only person of like note, there was people I recognized a couple of the people that were the interns in that show, but
Yeah.
like Dave Franco is obviously like a big deal these days.
Wait, is that the guy from Ozark?
No,
Dave
Is that
Franco.
Clint?
Dave Franco's
Who's Dave
James
Franco?
Franco's brother.
I know who he is, but what character was he?
Cody.
Is he Clint?
Cody. Yeah, he's the guy with the teeth
Oh,
who looks like James Franco's brother.
Yeah, he's the guy that looks like James Franco, sort of.
Like smaller.
is he the guy who's going to be the surgeon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
He kind of
yeah.
looks like the
Oh.
Green Goblin a
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay, I thought his name was Cole. Is that not right?
Oh,
It might have been Cole.
Maybe it was Cole.
Cody. I don't know.
He wasn't that memorable because none of these
mean, he's a
characters
big
were
part
that
of
good.
this
He had some sort of
episode.
bro name.
Yeah.
So we had him and his friends. I think Lucy was Lucy the gal
Was it that
who's
was the one
trying
that
to
was
track
very serious
down-
about Ben the cadaver?
about thanking the cadaver's family, and then
Yeah, the whole episode was about they were gonna finish. They were done with
it was
this
like a
cadaver,
whole new crew.
and they were trying. They have like this ceremony at the end,
Like,
like
thank the family.
where they thank the family for letting them use the body, which is weird.
Which I don't think really happens.
I don't think that's a thing. And if it is,
My
I wouldn't-
grandma went to science. I did not get any ceremony,
You weren't invited.
or my grandpa, I should say.
Forgot which one.
Yikes. Then we had Mahoney was another big person in that crew.
Pat Mahoney.
And she is definitely, to me, seems like she's very clearly like the new Sarah Chalk. Like we're replacing this white gal with this one.
Yeah,
She had similar weird. She's quirky.
I tried to look her up. She seemed familiar to me, but I tried to look her up,
Yeah,
and
she's in something.
I couldn't place.
Is she in like a Star Troopers movie or something?
I'll
find it.
Half of her and the dude that
I'll
was
find
her boyfriend that she knocked down the wall for,
Yeah.
or whatever. I was like, are these just like two weird versions of like Joel McHale that like didn't quite make Community?
I got a Community vibe.
Like
from this episode.
I was getting like Community vibes from these people, like in a weird way. Maybe it was how it was
in a
shot,
bad way.
and how they were acting. Yeah, it was getting like this is like discount Community, very sitcom-y vibes from all of these new people. That's what I was getting. Like
Yeah.
sitcom-y, and like you feel like you're watching a sitcom, where good sitcom, like I don't know, let's pull one out of my butt. Frasier, for instance, doesn't make you like feel like that's what you're watching.
Yeah.
And this episode kind of did. I wrote this sentence. The only thing the only time this episode was good is when Turk or Cox were talking.
Yeah.
True.
Like I feel like the only time that it was like funny and good was that, and they tried to do a thing where like they were. I think they were just like a little too ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they tried to like wrap it all back up like a regular episode of Scrubs, where then they're like, these are the lessons we learned from the episode that we just had.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I don't care what your ridiculous asses just learned.
Yeah.
You're not like real people.
I think what it comes down to is that this new cast of characters are kind of built. They're built as secondary characters.
Mhm.
They're not built as like main characters like JD or even Elliot was.
Right.
So that they could be like an obvious audience avatar and like have the audience feel things. When I was looking at these characters, I just kind of felt like I was watching them as opposed to like being in there with them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you really like you're not a doctor, but like you felt like the tribulations that JD felt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But you didn't feel Cody's struggle to try to sew a teddy bear back
Yeah.
together to become like a surgeon. That was
Yeah.
like that wasn't a serious problem,
Uh-huh.
but that was the problem he had.
And I feel like part of that is like the silliness of it, but also that they tried to split it over like these like 5 characters or whatever,
Mhm.
as opposed to just focusing on
Focusing.
one.
Yeah, the hour instead of the my.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
even the titles of these episodes, I think, almost show you what the problem with
Yeah.
this season was.
Yeah.
His name is Cole, by the way.
It doesn't matter.
Coldy.
The other guy who was shadowing Cox was Drew, and he was dating Mahoney, and there was a whole.
Yeah, him and her gave me like
They
a
tried to
very
make some
Joel McHale
relationship.
like vibe,
Uh-huh.
but like I like Joel McHale in Community,
Yeah.
but I don't like
Oh.
2 fake versions of Joel McHale in season 9 of Scrubs. I don't know. Is that like a weird like comparison? Or
You thought
did
they were both Joel McHale?
I thought they both felt like it because he felt like a guy version of Joel McHale, but she felt like 80% Joel McHale,
Okay.
and he felt like tired male Joel McHale.
I feel like the thing that ties me to them to Joel McHale for me, where it's like a handsome guy in like a funny sitcom,
yeah.
right? Like he has the look of a guy that might
Maybe
be,
he just kind of looked like Joel McHale to me,
Uh-huh.
and that's
Little
why
bit.
I thought that.
kind of, but
And she acted like Joel McHale,
yeah,
and I thought that. But they were always in scenes together.
they kind of strike me as as actors that would be cast in some sort of like rom-com or something, but
Mhm.
since those don't exist, they're just in this regular comedy.
Okay.
I think when they were all together, like the new kids, that's when I got a Community vibe of like they had like comedic like Asian character like Chang for some reason, who had a very like a big breasted girlfriend. I don't know what was going on.
I couldn't figure out what was with that guy. Yeah, or that
And
like
was she like Australian?
that was yeah. She had
She had an accent, right?
She said
She
3
said, like-
sentences the whole episode.
Yeah, I feel like
Like,
one
she
of the
never
sentences
talked.
was in an accent.
She was just standing behind him with a
Mostly
really
she
deep
was just
cut
boobs.
shirt,
Yeah.
and
she was
like
there to be boobs.
and, yeah, she was just
Just
a big blonded booby girl
screaming
from a
about-
different country.
Screaming about Vegemite.
And his name was
Mate.
Trang, and he also said about 2 words in this episode.
Neither one of those people even resonated with me at all. Besides, like, we were watching it, I was like, he's really tiny. She has boobs.
Yeah.
Like,
They're just
She may have
shapes.
just been very tall.
they
They're
were
not
ju-
even characters. They're just
Yeah.
shapes.
At least the other girl, Lucy, who like she like cared. She was like the only one with almost like substance out of the new group, because she was like, "This is a dead person. We should care about them." Like, and like the other people were like, "Who cares?
Yeah.
He's been dead. He did his job." And it's like
Yeah.
that part where she was in the, or Lucy was in the morgue, like trying to figure out what to do with him in his like kind of like second eulogy in a way, you know, to like,
Sure.
and the Joel McHale girl was eating a sandwich in
Yeah.
there, like that little scene,
Mahoney.
that was the most like scrub scene I think this whole episode had,
So
where
you
it just
think
kind of like,
Lucy was the JD, the new JD?
if anybody would,
She was just horrible. Her just as an actress, she was just so bad.
if anybody,
Well, yeah, because she had all the like internal narration that we were hearing and stuff.
did she have internal narration?
Yeah, she did,
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
and it was also awful.
But like, yeah, if anybody was, it was her. But like, yeah, like you said, Joe, it was so shared.
Yeah. That
It
it's
was
hard
a-
to get
it was a-
into any
yeah, it was a
any
little-
one
yeah.
of them.
It was a little too disjointed.
I feel like Bill Lawrence, like they came to him with a check, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm totally ready for another season of this." And then he like closed the door and like went into his like bathroom with like a notebook and just shelled out this 9th season in like just a long poop.
I mean,
And just wrote,
Just
I-
one long bathroom
he was
trip.
like, "Yeah, here it is. I just had to go get it."
I like agree with you, but
was
in
in
the
the
same,
bathroom.
but in the same way, I don't think this is like Bill Lawrence's fault,
yeah.
because like, imagine this:
Wasn't
you're
not
in
his
you're
fault.
in NBC, CBS, whoever.
Yeah.
You're in this for 7 seasons, and this show is doing dope as hell. And then for whatever reason, you leave that network, you go to ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole cast comes with you for the next season,
Yeah.
and you do it, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna end the show. People aren't happy. I know people want to leave. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Then the network is like, okay, we're going one more, and these are all your new people.
Yeah.
Or-
make it work.
Were any of those people in the season 8, or at least parts that you saw?
I
new
know
people?
I know that they were trying to push like a new cast.
No, they
in
weren't.
season 8. No, not yet.
Hold on.
I know that they were
just
trying to
went away
push
from it.
like a new cast in season 8, but I don't know if it's the same people. It might
Okay.
be completely
Beginning
new
of
people.
season 9, the first episode is the first day of these new people.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Of their
So
first day of school.
and so
It's
imagine.
literally called Our First Day of School.
I mean, in a way,
Yeah.
it's just like, imagine you're working a job like Bill Lawrence. You're doing your job and you love your job and you've been doing it for almost a decade. And then they're like, you know what? You have new tasks. You're going to do basically your same job,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a completely different focus.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I don't, this isn't going to work. And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, but this is your job. Do it.
Yeah.
And he's just a good worker in a way. So he's like, okay, I'm going to start the project you gave me and I'm going to finish it, AKA the season,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm done after that
Yeah.
because this isn't good.
And he's like, plus I'm busy with Cougar Town and this is going to be awesome.
Well, you know, not everything's a hit, but like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, with what he was given, like, how could have this been good? You know,
Yeah.
that takes what kind of mastermind?
You could have
Ooh.
maybe if you just made it a Dr. Cox show.
And it always should have been.
He was so good
Host
when Dr. Cox was talking.
John C.
He was pure
McGinley?
Cox, you know.
John C. McGinley is a national
What if they
treasure.
just called it Pure Cox and just had it Dr. Cox and Turk?
Pure Cox MD,
Yikes.
Dr. Turk Turkleton.
He apparently had another show that went for a couple seasons called Ground Floor. You guys heard of that?
No,
John C.
Interested
McGinley
in-
did?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's like the main guy in that.
no, I have not.
Also, he's in the movie Office Space
Well, yeah,
as one of the Bobs.
he's a national treasure. We know that.
And The Rock. I feel like he was in a lot of stuff in like the late '90s as a cop or like military, like SEAL sort of
And then he was gonna
person.
and then he was gonna end his career on top with 8 seasons of Scrubs.
Yeah.
And then
Scrubs.
Yeah.
and then some ABC exec probably threw another $2 million on his paycheck.
I would like to know how much he apparently he had announced that the 8th season was going to be the final season, like Bill Lawrence did as the creator.
I mean, let's just lay it down for the audience. Only watch seasons 1 through 8,
Yeah.
and
mean,
season
You
9
don't
doesn't
need the
exist.
Season 9.
Well,
I can't. I haven't watched any of these, so I can't see. But at least from like you thinking the finale, Joe. I'm saying you, Joe. You saying you thought that was the finale, and at least I feel like you thought it was a good-ish finale.
yeah.
At least an end.
I would say at least like treat season 9 of Scrubs as a different show, or know that going in.
It felt like a different show.
It's
It felt
a
like
different show.
it felt like Joey to Friends.
Uh-huh.
You know, like it was a spin-off, but it was
Oh.
that's what it felt like.
Can I interject one tidbit?
Yeah, no, you're in this podcast too. I guess.
Season 7.
You can put your hand down now.
Season 7 was likely to be the final season on NBC due to the Writers Guild of America
Oh.
strike.
Dude, the writer's strike fucked everything up.
2007 through 2008 is when that took
But
place.
also pay those writers
So only 11
what they deserve.
episodes of that season were finished,
I
and
wanna-
only 6 were aired.
Okay. I want to point out
Interesting.
the writers didn't mess it up. Corporate America fucked it.
No, they were all the writers were all like hired back, I think, for these last ones. But then to save money, there's something like Bill Lawrence used half of the writers for half of the episodes, and then swapped the team out for the other half. So he had to play half the writers basically, but he wanted to keep them
Get
all.
everybody. Okay, gotcha.
But
Yeah.
they basically got their salaries cut in half.
Interesting.
If you're writing a whole season of TV and you're not just even involved in the process, even if you're not like a big hand in like episode 2 or like, you know, one of the other, that's got to be hard to just like kind of follow and get the feel of it. Like
Yeah.
you're writing
jump in.
something, it's like a part of you. You're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like writing isn't just. I don't think good writing is something you just like poop out.
Yeah, you
know?
can't just clock in a couple hours and be like, I wrote 2 hours of work.
No, that's not. It's not. You're not
Probably
just.
not
You're
how
not.
it works.
You're not doing Excel spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm.
It's you're writing. It's coming out of your body, your heart, your soul, your penis.
Okay. Yeah.
You know that kind of stuff.
Cox.
Your Dr. Cox.
What are we doing?
Let's look at some
we've
predictions.
probably said
We've definitely. I think we've gotten our point across.
enough. Oh, I had one other shitty thing. Quick, is that so they used the same theme song, but they got a different band to do it.
Yeah.
That was
What the hell?
why. What was the
So you're
point?
still paying for the same right? You're still paying that band to use their song. It was an original song.
Yeah.
So you just paid a different band to make it shitty?
I don't know. Yeah, just like a more emo version.
Try to make it more 2009.
I mean,
I guess.
was that in the beginning of season 8? Did it switch in ABC or did it switch?
I don't think
don't
so.
know.
Yeah.
Here,
Who's to
Jimmy,
say?
you start doing your predictions, and I'm gonna find that answer out.
Also in doing some deep diving into Bill Lawrence, he wrote and created Spin City with Michael J. Fox, which, stay tuned for
Stay
season
tuned.
6 of First and Last. Okay, my first one I think was that the lawyer sang and he exited this
Yeah.
with Gooch, and that makes me so
The
sad.
gooch.
Then I said Turk's got kids, and he does. He made reference to having girls, and that they sing or they love the eels.
Yeah, that one actually hit.
Yeah, nailed it. And then JD is married. We didn't see that, but Josh did confirm it in a Wikipedia deep dive.
Wait,
Married to Elliot.
it's debatable.
I mean, you said that, and the Wikipedia says that. We didn't see it, but it says it.
All right. I mean, if we're gonna give Jimmy Wikipedia points,
Sure.
You read it. I didn't
Wikipedia
prompt it.
points.
You said it
no,
out
what it-
loud.
no. Hey, if you want to take the point, you can take the
Put
point.
an asterisk on this whole season.
Yeah.
God damn it. And then I said no clips, and there were no clips because they had
There
no
were no
clips.
clips.
What were they going to do? Show
Oh,
clips
man.
from episode 1 of Lucy doing whatever, being emo? Are you doing something else over
Are
there?
you watching some sort
that
of
a
home
Z's?
improvement video? What is this?
What the fuck are you doing over there?
I'm trying to. I'm
that
trying
Courtney
to.
Cox?
It's Courtney Cox. She's in the first episode of season 8. I'm trying to listen to the what's it called? The theme song.
Yeah.
I want to know what the theme song is.
Oh, well, quit screwing around. Just get to it.
I can't find it.
God, it's like you've never watched an episode of TV in the last 2 years or so.
Oh, hey, that girl. That was a girl. She's in
That's
season
Mahoney.
9.
Season 8? Yeah, she started the series in season 8. That is Aziz, right?
Yes.
For listeners at home, Josh is done with the podcast. And he's just watching, just scrolling through TV now.
I'm just looking at Courtney Cox's. Her boobs are
That's
everywhere
a
in this
ton of
episode.
cleave
That's a lot of
in
cleave.
season 8.
Also, Zach Braff looks
King-
great with a beard.
He's got a 5 o'clock. Can't you just like hit like forward and do like a 5-second skip like on YouTube? Good God.
I'm doing what you asked, Jimmy, and it's only going. Okay. How
Okay, so
about,
Bill Lawrence.
can you finish your
also-
predictions? I didn't want you to
Bill
stop.
Lawrence also created. So he created Spin City and Clone High. Did you ever see that show?
Yeah, I used to love Clone High.
So good. Bill
Yeah.
Lawrence did that.
a
That's amazing.
lot of people, I feel like a lot of people in Scrubs had voices on Clone High.
Oh, for
Like
real?
Turk did for sure.
Ah,
Yeah.
Donald Faison.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Turk's got to be by far his greatest character.
Confirmed season 8, episode 1 has the old
Original theme song.
Yeah.
Right.
Seems about right.
Bill Lawrence also did a season of Rush Hour, the TV show.
Oh, wow.
So
That sounds disgusting.
gotta pull that up one of these days. I'm
Um,
done talking.
I had
Thanks, listeners. Good night.
none of my predictions apply. There's a reference to a snow globe, Turk and JD hug, reference to the Shins, and Ted sings.
I bet all those things happened in the season 8 finale.
I bet, man. Totally did.
It's because you watched the season 8 finale and you were like,
Just
I'm
wrote
gonna get
down
all the
things.
points. And then all my things suck as well because I thought these people were in this episode. JD has a flashback or daydream of kissing Elliot. Neither one of those people are alive in this episode. Turk and Carla have kids. Bonus. Their name was named Red. Here's the deal. I know Turk has kids.
Mhm.
I don't technically have confirmation based on what we've seen that he has kids with Carla,
Mhm.
even though I'm pretty confident.
Oh, you qualified it with Carla, huh?
Well, yeah. Turk and Carla have kids. So I'm not
Yeah.
giving myself a point.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to read it off Wikipedia and decide whether or not that's correct.
Okay, that's fine. But had I read that on Wikipedia on air on the show, I would have given you that point.
I mean, fair enough. And I let you decide how many points you get. Dr. Cox is chief of medicine. I kept trying. Here's the deal. Inconclusive. Not giving myself a point. But the whole time, and I don't know if you guys were trying to do this, they both, Turk and Cox, had lab coats on.
Mhm.
And they both had, the first part said their names.
Yeah.
And then the second part under it said something else.
It said their department.
And I couldn't tell what, I couldn't see like essentially what his, obviously it's like a school, it's kind of like it's a teaching hospital
Yeah.
still, but I couldn't tell. And
Yeah,
if
I was trying to read that
Winston
too.
University is what it was.
I saw that Turks said Department of Surgery.
yeah,
So I bet it wouldn't have said their title.
yeah.
I bet you wouldn't have been able to
Department
know.
of Medical.
So
Yeah, Department of Medicine.
So either way, couldn't figure it out. And then the fourth one is the janitor plays one last prank on JD. He apparently left the hospital
He
in between
is-
season 8 and season 9.
He's dead and gone.
I think he has a farewell episode in season 9. It seemed like a lot of people did.
Oh, well, good for all of those people that had it before I watched this last one. So I'm gonna give myself a big old fat donut as well.
Good. Love donuts.
Super
3
great.
spaghetti points.
You
I
got three.
believe.
You got 3 points.
3 points.
That's how many you're giving yourself
got
tonight?
kids. He said that he's got kids.
Yeah, we
No
went through
clips.
this. We went through this while I was looking up a theme song.
No, not that part. I said the JD's married part. Because you were the one who read that. I didn't know that.
It's all right. Okay, you got 3 points. We get
Yeah,
it.
we got it.
It's fine.
3 donuts.
We
Got
understand.
it.
I wrote it down. You have 3 donuts.
Donuts.
Well-
Simpsons. Oh, it's still going.
Yeah, that show is never going to end. It's going to outlive us all. Thank you, everybody, for listening once again to this episode of First and Last. We appreciate you. If you want to hit us up with a show suggestion or rate us 5 stars or do all that thing, do it on podcast apps. Hit us up on the Twitters.
All
First
the
at
pods.
F and
All
L
the casts.
podcast on the Twitter, on the Gmail. Do all that kind of stuff. Talk to us. Tell Joe he's nice. Tell Jimmy what your favorite pasta is. Tell me I'm a terrible person. I don't give a shit. Listen to us this week and next week. We love you. Thank you for listening. We're signing off. Goodbye. Don't watch the season 9 of Scrubs.
Don't do it. Get up. Turn it off.
Shut that off right now. You tell Hulu to go take it off streaming.
You start watching Cougar Town this minute.